This too shall pass and the seasons are going to change. It's really hot in South Island, New Zealand, midsummer. But I've stood on this exact same spot where I've been blown over by really strong, freezing cold winds. I've stood in this same spot where I've been 20 centimetres deep in snow. I've stood in this same spot where it's been so cold you can hardly breathe and you've got brain freeze. Because things change. So the biggest thing that we need to be ready for, to accept, to be excited about, is that things are going to change. Have you noticed, however, there's a lot of people in the world who are scared of change? They get anxious about change, they get angry about change, they want everything to stay the same. Now, one of the biggest things I've learned as an old lady is that things are not going to stay the same. Your body changes, your headspace changes, the way you look at life changes. You go through so many changes in life that only one real thing that we need to accept that's going to happen to everybody is that things are going to change. But here's a great question. Are you ready for the change? So you can feel it already. It's been hot today, but we're going to get a change. There's a cool breeze blowing now, and probably by midnight tonight it's going to be freezing cold. I love change, and that's the thing I'm asking. If you are a parent, a teacher, a coach, a boss, or a leader, is it possible that you too have to love change, be ready for all the changes that happen in life, and don't be surprised by them? So if I live in the South Island of New Zealand, I get surprised that it's hot in the summer. That would be silly, because it's always hot in the summer. If I get surprised that it's freezing cold in the winter, that would be silly, because it's always freezing cold in the winter. So I have to accept that things are going to change. If I'm an old lady, I have to accept that my body's going to change. My skin changes, my ability to do certain things can change. But because I'm fit and because I'm strong, I can make sure that those changes aren't so drastic and I don't get surprised by them. So if you've got people relying on you to be positive, to be a solution finder, to be optimistic, is it possible that you have to, first of all, accept that there's going to be change, and do you? And even if things happen and you weren't expecting them, do you act surprised and shocked and horrified and people use words like that, don't they? Oh, terrible things have happened, it's been a catastrophe. Versus if you're a leader, is it possible that you need to remain calm, handle the pressure, know that people can rely on you, and people can only rely on you if you handle the situation. So if you want to be the person that people go to and say, can you please help me? I'd like to pay you more. I'd like to give you more responsibility. I'd like to have you in my business. I'd like to have you in my sporting team. I'd like to have you in our board or as an executive, because you are the person who can handle pressure, you can handle change. Then is it possible that you need to do things every day that help you to handle change, which is why I love working out in my garden, because it's always different. It's hot, it's cold, it's windy, it's snowy, and it makes me accept change and be excited by it. So one day I'm excited because it's snowing, and the next day I get excited because it's boiling hot. So whatever's happening in your life at the moment, are you ready if it's not going to be the same tomorrow? What if it changes tomorrow? What if your relationships change? What if your financial situation changes? There's so many, for example, natural disasters in the world, or horrible things that happen. So there's fires and droughts and tornadoes and hurricanes, and Mother Nature gets pretty cranky sometimes. That's a big change. If you come home and your house is burnt down, that's a big change to have to deal with. But if you've got insurance, if you accept that that could happen, so there's one of the things that leaders always do, they accept the worst. They then plan for the worst so that when it arrives, they're not surprised. So great question. Are you ready for everything that happens in your life? And if not, is it ready, or are you ready, or should you make a change? Live your life to the max. Woohoo!